Both-Sides-Ism. Have you heard that phrase recently? The media and the folks on the left love to say that in the wake of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Both sides have violence, is what they say. Both sides. It's the same. Both sides do bad things, so it's the same. Except it's not. I've been spending a lot of time really trying to think about this both sides argument, because I think the left doesn't want to come to grips with the problems that their side has. So this is a convenient way of sweeping it all under the rug and having the media be complicit in helping to cover it up for them. I'm still searching. So forgive me if you don't fully agree with me, because I'm still kind of trying to come to grips on this. The left, I think, really wants to just focus on the end. It's violence, and there's violence on both sides. So therefore, both sides do it. It's that simple, right? They've used the assassination to talk about this as, well, if there's violence on one side and there's violence on the other, then it must all be the same. You talk to folks on the left, you listen to the media, and they'll say, well, Paul Pelosi was attacked. The governor of Michigan was kidnapped. Someone tried to burn down or vandalize and attack the governor, Josh Shapiro, of Pennsylvania. Look what happened to the Minnesota legislators. So, see, look at all these attacks on the left. It's the same. There's radicalism on both sides. So that's what happened here, right? We need to condemn violence on both sides. I do, by the way. I've always said that, just to be clear. And I think most folks on the right are very clear about this. This isn't how we settle our differences. Think about the difference between George Floyd and Charlie Kirk. George Floyd, violence, vandalism, destruction. Charlie Kirk, prayer and tributes. It's not the same. So the way the left kind of wants you to think about this, and I know this is very simplistic, but it's the way that my mind works. So bear with me. I want to go to lunch. You want to go to lunch. See, both sides want to go to lunch. It's that simple, isn't it? But when you dig down deeper, you find out that it's different. I want to go to get surf and turf. I want to go to the Capitol Grill or some really nice fancy restaurant. And you guys want to go to Wendy's to get a value meal. So therefore, it's not the same. Yes, we both want to get to lunch, but what we want and what we're doing is completely different. And that's what they don't want you to discuss. Because there's a big difference in the lead up and the response. And this is the key thing. Poll after poll, survey after survey, shows that people on the left, especially young people, by the way, believe that violence is an acceptable way of settling your differences, of achieving your goals. Think about it. That's what they did after George Floyd. That's what they did to President Trump. That's what they did when that guy attacked that young Ukrainian woman on the public transportation in North Carolina. Think about all of the anti-Israel protests. They go after people. They attack people. Those aren't peaceful. And I know the media wants to cover it up. But it's also what their leaders do in the face of this. And by the way, one last thing on that violence piece. It's not just the violence. In many cases, according to these studies and these polls, they believe that assassination is okay. Whether it's President Trump or Elon Musk, take them out.
I have the best news ever.
What? Donald Trump died?
Second best news.
Vice President died?
Okay, third best news.
That Elon Musk died?
Okay, no. Nobody died. My best friend's getting married.
I know that's uncomfortable to hear. I get it. I'd be embarrassed too. But it's true. They have a problem and they don't want to come to grips with it. But the bigger issue is this. I get that so many of these folks can say, I said that I was outraged by Charlie Kirk. But the so-called leaders of the left and of the Democrats in the past have actually encouraged it, sanctioned it. Think about Chuck Schumer telling Gorsuch, the Supreme Court Justice, we're coming to get you. Maxine Waters telling people, go get in the faces of Trump administration officials when you see them in public. Surround them.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
What do you think's going to eventually happen when you do that? What do you think's going to happen when you tell a 10, 11, or 12-year-old for the last 10 years and tell them one side is a direct threat to democracy, an existential threat to how we live our lives, to the country that we know, that they're fascists, that they're Nazis.
We have to start calling his supporters racist as well. That MAGA symbol has come to represent something. It is the new Nazi symbol. It is the new hood.
Because they're not a party, right? They're Sinn Féin to the IRA. They're the PLO to Hamas. They're a dime store front for a terrorist movement.
The Republican Party is basically a domestic terrorist cell at this point, and they should be treated as such.
There are elements of the GOP that are starting to look like the jihadists.
Not a political party. They're a white nationalist movement. They're a fascist threat to our nation. That's not hyperbolic. That's academic.
Would have once seemed hyperbolic, but it increasingly does feel like the Republican Party has become a death cult, and it's all about Donald Trump.
There is no alternative right now because the Republican Party project today is a fascist authoritarian project.
Fact is, Republicans in Congress are still in the grip of the ultra-MAGA agenda.
Party of dupes, party of knuckleheads, party of weirdos, party of freaks. So that is a simple message. And underneath that, it's the party of nothing.
It has become an authoritarian embracing cult. It is fascist.
At some point, don't you think they're going to get the message and say, well, if you're an existential threat, if you're really Hitler, if you're a Nazi, then I need to do what I need to do to get rid of you. You think about the response that the right has shown over the last, week or so, when it came to the murder of innocent students at Annunciation Catholic School, the young Ukrainian woman in North Carolina, to Charlie Kirk. Situation after situation, tragedy after tragedy, folks on the right gathered to pray, to pay tribute, and to figure out how to move forward. That's not the case in the left. When Luigi Mangione murdered in cold blood the CEO of a healthcare company that maybe you have problems with, that's not really the point. They celebrated this guy. They put him on T-shirts. They've started defense funds. They literally celebrate the actions of this. It is not the same. The violent rhetoric is on the left. To be neutral is not to choose a side. It's time to call a spade, to pick a side. You're either with the side that says that protests are peaceful, that you settle your differences at the ballot box, or you're with the other side that believes fundamentally that violence, and yes, even assassinations, are an acceptable way to settle your differences. It's not the same. The folks on the right have been canceled and censored and shut out for decades. In the early 90s, my college commencement speaker wasn't allowed to speak. He was canceled because he worked for George H.W. Bush. Simply because of the positions of that administration, they canceled him. That's 4 decades ago. This isn't something that just popped up in the era of Donald Trump. It has gotten worse. But the idea that the left thinks it's okay to go to somebody's house, to stand outside, to threaten them, their children, their family, is getting worse and worse. When I've gone to college campuses, whether it's Harvard, Berkeley, Penn, in almost every situation, I'm greeted with armed agents who explain to me how they're going to protect me in the face of threats, what the exit plans are, what the safe rooms are. And then they'll usually tell me what the students are allowed to do, their rights, not my rights. What they can do to make their voices heard, including rushing the stage, by the way, which happened in Illinois once. That's what they've been told. But the worst part is it's encouraged. The faculty, the administration, the staff encourages that kind of behavior. Some cases, they actually partake in it. This is unbelievable. I challenged some folks the other day. Do you think that's true on the left? Name me any single person that could walk on any campus from the left and feel threatened. Because if they do, it's from their own side, by the way. It's not from the right. But I can't name a single prominent conservative or Republican official that could go on a college campus and not have to have security. These folks have said over and over again that MAGA, the conservatives, are a threat to democracy. This is unbelievable. It needs to stop. But to be clear, it is not both sides. Do not buy into this argument. The side of the left is clearly different. We need to acknowledge that and move on before you can ever accept a call for unity. Well, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get more.